This July, the International Chemistry Olympiad will take place at ETH Zurich and here at the Department of Chemistry and Applied Biosciences. So the countdown is on, and to get you in the mood, we are going to tell you some stories. My name is Julia Ecker. I'm responsible for public relations here at the D-CHAB. And for today's story, we invited two guests who are very familiar with the Chemistry Olympiad. With me today are Wendelin Stark, professor at the Institute for Chemical and Bioengineering at ETH Zurich and head of the IChO Scientific Committee. Welcome.
Thank you. Welcome.
And Dr. Nevena Paunović, currently postdoctoral researcher in the drug formulation and delivery group of Professor Jean-Christophe Leroux. Hello from my side too. So when two people meet who have both been to the Chemistry Olympiad before, it's usually not hard to start a conversation, right? Because you have interesting stories to share. And that's actually my first question. So what is your favorite story or favorite moment when you think of your Chemistry Olympiad days?
Okay, so I have some stories that are in particular interesting, but I would say that in general, like the first thing that crosses my mind is just fun, because it was really fun to learn new things and just like to go beyond this like regular high school program, and also fun to solve complex problems and to find ways like how to approach them. I experienced for the first time the lab work in a more advanced setting, and I really loved it. And it was always like, you feel like a detective in a way, because you have limited time to find clues and solve these like 20 cases in a way. And for me, it was fun to challenge myself this way. So many fun anecdotes from this, but nothing in particular that it would be like a broader setting, let's say, yeah.
I think it was a big adventure. At least the start of it was quite strange, because here in Switzerland it was organized over the French-speaking part of Switzerland. And I remember I was like 15 or 16, and there was a chemistry teacher in Winterthur, Walter Capretz, and he had asked me, would you want to participate in an international competition on chemistry? And I was a bit having no idea about all that. He was kind of far away, all these international things. And so, but I somehow said, okay, fine, well, let's have a look at this. And then he said, you're going to have to drive to the French-speaking part of Switzerland. And you may be familiar that at least for the majority of the German-speaking people, the French-speaking is something that is kind of happening either at school. It's usually not terribly popular. And it puts the French-speaking at that age very far away. And so I was very hesitant, I have to admit, to travel alone into the French-speaking part of Switzerland. Obviously, I eventually went there, and it was great fun. And it was a challenge. The language was a challenge. The theme itself, it was more like a side of it. I think the adventure was particularly personal as well, to suddenly find people that were the same age and were interested to a point where you didn't have to motivate them to do something, but you actually yourself made the decision that you wanted to do it. I think that was the biggest part about it.
Nevena, you have also a special relationship with the Olympics, since you participated in the national one, but you never had the chance to go to the international one, right? How did that go?
Yes, I come from Serbia, and I was 2 times the national winner, but I never got the chance, to go to the International Chemistry Olympiad. So it was a bit special situation, because after our previous country dissolved, there were some unclarities, let's say, like how new countries will be represented, and a lot of bureaucratic issues related to that. And they were resolved, but unfortunately for me, a bit too late to participate. So but this year I will participate in the Finding Solutions Fair. So I will get my International Chemistry Olympiad experience.
And you met your partner actually at the Olympia, right?
Yes, it's true. So I met many of my best friends there, and as well as my husband, yes.
That's really cool. So when we talk about the Chemistry Olympiad, it's always like more, it's not just a competition, right? It's also a very deep experience, I would say. You mentioned the friendships, but it's also maybe influencing later career or later life. So Wendelin, what influence did the Chemistry Olympiad have on your life, on your further career?
I think that's difficult to say because at the age of 16, 17, it's still kind of far away. I think the important step was to realize that there is a relatively small, but obviously international group of people at the same age who were good at this, far better than what would people normally do. And it is incredibly competitive because you don't go to an Olympics if you don't want to win. So in our society, particularly in Switzerland, we tend to moderate everything and we tend to not talk so much about competition. We like everybody to be on the boat and to be on equal levels. That's not what you do at the Olympics. At the Olympics, you go and you want to win. You may not, talk every day about this, but the matter of a competition is obviously to win. And that means you're nervous. You're very nervous. I think I've never been so nervous as at that point, because probably for all the young people that go to the Olympics, school life is probably not such a stress because they're usually not only good in chemistry, but that somehow entails that they have a decent understanding of other subjects as well. So usually they tend to get through the high school life without, too much hassle. And so you meet everybody from all the countries which had been the best in their country, which obviously means you really hit the ceiling now. It's not anymore easy to do it.
The high pressure going on there.
It's a self-made pressure. Obviously, it feels fun to go there, but there is a competitive element. I think I would not deny that. And from Switzerland, everything was very, even today, it's not organized in a very national way. Still today, the Science Olympiads in Switzerland, they tend to be a relatively small thing. But on the national agenda of many countries, the performance in the Scientific Olympiad tends to be a politically important thing. Escaping a bit also the self-image that the state has of itself in a certain area. So the preparation done into the young people being good at the Olympiad later tends to be at a completely different scale as we do this here. And so you go there in a bit a naive Swiss way, and suddenly you're facing people that had several months preparation, and kind of oh my God, we're going to look ridiculous. And well, finally we didn't, but it's not a game. You want to go there, you want to be good at it, and everybody's very focused. And it's good because I guess that probably applies to most participants. In their home country, there is a certain reluctance to people showing that they're very good. I mean, that depends very much on the nation you grew up in, but in many countries you tend to hide when you're very good at something. And suddenly it's completely okay. And there is even a very decent chance that you're not going to be very good because otherwise it will just be better. So suddenly this flips the whole concept.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think? What did you learn then for your later career? Because now you're a successful professor, you're also a successful member of many advisory boards, been different startups and spin-offs. What did you learn?
I think I learned that I enjoy talking with other people at a certain subject and going fast. That I enjoy a lot of that. So it allows you to move, to develop new thoughts, to playfully quarrel about issues, kill theories, and go on and do it again and again and again. So that moves a group of people forward very fast.
Yeah, and in the Chemistry Olympiads, you have the advantage that you really have a group of people all interested in the same topic, right? So there is the passion. That's an amazing experience. But I fully agree with Professor Stark. It's just everyone who participates wants to win. And usually you're the best in your school, then you're best in your city, you're best in your region. And then in my case, you're coming to national, and then everyone is so good. And then it's just after a while, you develop a relationship, but it does not start like that because it's just it's quite hard because, as Professor Stark said, you want to win. It's stress that you create for yourself, but it's not really winning. I mean, what I realized over the years, because most of the people who participated in national competitions in Serbia now have PhDs, very successful careers all over the world. So
it does not matter if you won the medal or not. It's actually this experience of solving problems and really going. I would say maybe for me the most interesting part was actually this, that you learn that solving problems is often not so straightforward. And this helps you to build this perseverance in a way that helped me, at least, like also during my studies and during my PhD. And today, that I never give up. And if it's hard, it's actually exciting. It's not a problem, and it's not that I will give up. It will just like take more time until I solve it. So it's exciting, and having people who are so excited about the same thing as you are when you are so young, it's just amazing. It just creates this very positive atmosphere. It motivates you to be better. If you are not so good, then you work more, and next time you will be better, every day a bit better. So.
Actually, this atmosphere is the atmosphere we want to create also in this July, right? So, and you will join again in this International Chemistry Olympiad, this time in another role. So, Wendelin, you are head of the scientific committee at IChO, and I wondered, wow, you're a professor and you are working also with the advisory boards, as I said beforehand. Do you have still time to do this task, and what motivates you?
Well, let me take the last question first. Well, what means me, I was approached by the national team here in Switzerland whether, I would assist or support this. And for me, this was completely clear. I wanted to have the Olympiad here in Switzerland one day. And when the national crowd here said, hey, they wanted to do it, I said, okay, let me go and see with my home institution whether we could find support for that. And I have to say that locally you may see it often as a bit slow deciding organization. In this case, the door was open quite fast. And I was very happy to see that the board of the school, the department, the colleagues here were all very open to have this huge event here, even though it was completely clear from the beginning. It would be a lot of work. It would be somehow making significant changes to the academic curriculum, maybe a financial risk. But I have to say that was a very positive experience. I was personally a bit, oh my God, maybe they're going to just put all the possible stones in our way. But no, it was not. It was welcomed very openly. To your question with the time, I would say there is one very secret, no, it's not secret, but there's a very, very, very powerful, very, very important person. This is Patrick, who is running a lot of things. So he's also doing a PhD in my team, but he's running a lot for a chemistry Olympiad. So without him, it would completely be impossible. So this is a team effort, but he does a large part of this. So.
Maybe you can explain a little bit, what is the task of this scientific committee? What are you doing?
Well, since at the core of the Olympiad is a competition, and the competition has to be done on a real object, the problems we discuss, they have to be correct. And you may imagine that if 90-odd countries participate, there's going to be 90-odd teams of experts. And they're going to have to translate the problems in their native language. The students have to solve it. And then we have to agree on who did how well. Now, when you are, doing, 100-meter sprints, it is in principle relatively easy because you put cameras, you put a laser beam, and you measure the time, which today is very easy with electronics, and you measure down to, a thousandth of a second how fast somebody is, and that's it. There's not much discussion about who was the fastest, okay? There's a line, and that's it. Now, when you compare solving chemical problems, that will be much more complicated because in some cases, there's not just one solution. There may be different aspects of a solution. There may be different ways to argue why a certain problem could be this or this. And when you have 90 times this group of experts behind this, you can imagine how many people that gets. And then they're motivated, okay? They're not just there to wait until they go home. They're motivated to have their students from their country to be the best ones. Now, with that level of information, you better be sure that everything's correct. Plus, it should be unambiguous. It should be clear, okay? And that's I have to say to myself, preparing problems for these students every year for the lecture, this is much harder. way harder because you have to be fair, it has to be very accurate, and then you also have to give out preparatory problems, meaning that you have to communicate to the countries that participate what kind of skills and themes will be important at this Olympiad. And in order to be fair, you obviously have to then stay a little bit on that track and provide preparatory problems where people can train that are similar to the ones that you will eventually ask, but obviously they cannot be too close and too far away, and otherwise you're going to end up with discussing without any nights during that time. So,
can we have a glimpse on the, on what expects the participants then at the Olympiad? Can you already reveal, I don't know, something about it?
Nah, I think I'll let the lead on the pan. I think that would not be fair if I would reveal too many things. I'm very happy that we have a very good team preparing a lot of things, but if you enter the kitchen, you probably smells well, but you're not supposed to look in the pan.
It's more exciting like that. We will be surprised in July. Yeah.
Nevena, you will support the IChO in other ways. You said it. You participate in this Finding Solutions Fair. Can you tell us a little bit more about the startup? Yeah,
we're planning to incorporate soon. But so I am a CEO of the future IChO spin-off Transiron Bio, and we are developing painless alternatives for delivery of drugs that currently can be administered only via injections. So, in a way, why we are doing this is that there are millions of people, patients every day who need to apply their medicines as injections because these medicines cannot be delivered as a regular pill. These drugs actually behave like any protein from our diet, meaning they get rapidly digested or are just too big to cross the gut barriers. And we are actually now taking needles out of the picture and developing new systems that will enable us to deliver these kind of drugs in a painless fashion. So how do we do that? Well, our technology is based on octopus-inspired patch that can be easily self-applied to the inner side of the cheek, and it stays there for a short time and enables these drugs to efficiently reach the bloodstream. And I will be more than happy to share with participants different strategies that we applied in order to solve this complex problem during the solution fair.
Octopus inspired. What do you mean by that?
So it works like a little octopus sucker. So it's a little device in a way that applies negative pressure and some chemicals that then let's say, transiently disrupt this barrier that we have on the inside of our cheek and enables drugs to really directly reach the bloodstream.
Yes. Oh, sounds good. Sounds cool. Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of very interesting startups and spin-offs and projects at this Solutions Fair. I'm already looking forward to it. Thanks for participating.
Thank you for inviting us.
What are your thoughts then regarding the International Chemistry Olympiad now? So you will see it now at the first time, I guess.
Yes. After the introduction Professor Stark gave, now yes, I feel it. I already feel the pressure. Yes. So, but I'm really looking forward to it. I think that for me it was always very motivating to work with younger generations. I'm really looking forward to interact with them, to hear their questions, and to discuss how they also see the technology. Maybe they will have some interesting insights. So I'm really looking forward to that too.
Wendelin, what is your wish for the IChO 2023? Your personal wish?
My personal wish is that people come here, they have a great time, particularly great social interactions. I want them to go home with having made a few friends across their own country's border. And I would hope that they see how important it is that a country has an open democratic attitude, which allows people to develop their stuff in the way they want and to live the life that they envision and not somebody else. I think that's the most powerful thing that we expect from Switzerland is an understanding of an open society and a democratic approach. And in an open society, then people that want to do something which is new, which means it probably conflicts with something which is old. have the right to develop. And this is something that I hope it will be shown to the participants by being here, by interacting with one another, by seeing the country. So that's my deeper level of the program itself.
And democracy also means like also working as a team, right? Which is also quite important.
Yes, definitely. Good.
So, do we have an advice for the participants or a special, let's say, take-home message now that the countdown is on? No pressure, but yes. So I would say that they should still know that just expanding their capabilities and gaining new experiences and meeting new people from all around the world is an award itself, and it will impact their lives in ways they cannot imagine at this point. So I also wish them to have a great time at ETH and to really enjoy solving problems. Yeah.
I will wish everybody to really look forward to it, to meet in person, because it's been quite a while. And for us here, it's kind of, we're living in a very liberal, open way. We dealt with the whole pandemic, and somehow the restrictions are over for such a long time. We don't even think about it anymore, I think. For many people, it will be one of the first times again they will travel and they will get out. And I hope they will have a good time, literally, maybe walking at the limit in the city. So I would say take a good sun hat, maybe something to go swimming. And that should have a decent part in their luggage next to textbooks and some other notes.
I think this is a good advice and a good closing. So thank you very much for these insights and all the best for your next steps and tasks in view of the Olympiad regarding also the preparation. We have more stories to come and insights, of course, too. Please stay tuned. Thank you very much. Thank you for participating.
Thank you too.